Alright everybody, welcome back to Conqueror and Commander. We're going to be looking at the Mirror Mastery Precon in action, using Riku of Two Reflections as the commander. The opponents in this game are going to be Omnath, Locus of Mana, who is going to be a lot of green, big green, Genesis Wave, and the just a whole lot of green. Kemba, who's going to have a bunch of equipment, making a bunch of cats. And then Thada, who's going to run around and try and steal everybody's soul rings. My first hand only has 2 lands and not a whole lot else going for it, so I send it back. And I end up getting 3 lands with an Evolving Wilds. I don't feel like sending that one back, but I do draw Homeward Path early on. I crack my Evolving Wilds for a mountain. First turn Skull Clamp for Thada is a good, nice little card to have. Kemba has a Maria. Darksteel Citadel, which means that she's probably got some sort of metalcraft stuff going on. I end up drawing into Kodama's Reach and fix my mana a little bit, so I do have an island. Moonsilver Spear is a piece of equipment that you don't see too often, but does get played every once in a while. Thada comes out. I'm not sure if I really needed to do this. I put Vow of Lightning on Thada. At the time, I was like, oh, I don't want her attacking me and island walking all over me, but I don't really have a whole lot of artifacts I really need to protect. I mean, all she can really grab from me is Soul Ring. I guess that's one way of making sure that she doesn't ramp like that. Omnath comes out to play, and he's only stuck at like 3 land, and he already had to get rid of Indrik Stomphowler in his graveyard. Thada attacks Omnath and gets condemned. So we don't really have to worry about Thada anymore. Kemba condemns him. Her. It. Whatever the merfolk is. I end up drawing another land, and I bring Riku out to play. Omnath has Mystifying Maze and a Lurin. Lurin's interesting because it's a good way to save mana, or save Omnath's mana once it's been built up. Kemba has Staff of Nin. Nothing from the Thada player. I don't have enough mana to copy any of my creatures right now. Omnath gets pinged with Staff of Nin. Asceticism comes out to help protect Omnath. There's the Alurin right there. Kemba comes out to play with the spear. Nothing once again from Thada. I finally have enough mana to copy my stuff, so I play Hydra Omnivore and copy him. No attack. Somebody else gets pinged. Kemba makes a cat. And he's getting some nice card draw from his staff over here. Kemba attacks Thada, makes another angel. Evacuation bounces everything. Kemba comes back out to play. And gets equipped once again. Thada plays Knowledge Exploitation, targeting the Omnath player. Ideally, you can use it with its prowl cost, and since Thada is a rogue, that works well. But he ends up grabbing from Omnath, Praetor's Council, getting the evacuation back essentially. So I play Riku once again and do a whole lot of nothing. Omnath does nothing. Kemba makes another cat. Once again attacks the Thada player. Knowledge Exploitation once again. For Hallowed Burial. So basically, out of the 4 of us, only one of us has the ability to play our commander once again. So I play Simic Sky Swallower. Omnath comes out with hexproof and is getting big. There's doubling cube, which is good in an Omnath deck. Patron of the Oroki. Day of Judgment. Wipes the board once again. And then he uses Dust to Dust, and not Return to Dust. Getting rid of the doubling cube and the skull clamp. That's old school. I like it. Honestly, I think Dust to Dust should get played more over Return to Dust. I know Return to Dust has the ability to be played at instant speed, but most of the time people just use it to get rid of 2 artifacts, and so, you know, pay one less mana. I don't know. I guess I can easily be talked out of that stance, though. Stoneforge Mystic comes out to play. Grabbing Lightning Greaves, which gets cast. Oh no, Moonsilver Spear gets put on the Mystic. Darksteel Ingot. There's Collective Voyage. I decided I'd rather Fault Grinder first and get rid of Ameria. That's right, because he was getting pretty close to getting Ameria active. And then I Collective Voyage. You know, I've talked about Collective Voyage. It's just one of those cards that, like, sometimes you love it, sometimes you hate it. It seems to accelerate the game a little bit. It doesn't really accelerate the game in this instance too much, but I would think it would help the Omnath player a lot, but it doesn't really help him out a ton. Let me see, everybody gets like 6 extra mana, or 6 extra lands put into play. Or is it 7? Seven or 8. Doesn't really matter. But, you know, I that was another reason why I blew up Ameria, because I knew it would be active real quick with Collective Voyage being played. Everybody's got to get all their lands. Nobody's really taken a whole lot of damage yet. There's Ant Queen. It's a nice draw after Collective Voyage. Stoneforge Mystic puts Sword of Feast and Famine into play. Omnath makes a bunch of random insects. This is important because he plays a Chroma. Yes. The Chroma, however, can still be mystifying Mazed until she gets the Lightning Greaves put on her. Which, of course, is going to happen. So she's got Moonsilver Spear and the Sword. And she comes after me. Oh, that's too bad. I'm the lowly precon. But, you know, it's because I blew up the Ameria. And then she casts Mass Calcify to get rid of everything on all the creatures on the board. And then casts Linvala. Linvala doesn't affect me at all, but she's a pretty good creature. Let's see what Thada Adel does. Volition Reigns on Staff of Nin. She's hurting for card draw, sort of like I am. There's Valley Ranette. I've got enough mana now that I don't need to Forest or Mountain Cycle the Ranette, so I decided to just put it out there as a threat. I'll put the Hydra Omnivore out. I know there's the possibility of another Wrath type effect or something like that, but at this point I just kind of like, everybody's still at 40. I mean, I'm at 32. I'm at the lowest life out of everybody. And I figure, you know, I just want to start forcing people's hands here. Omnath plays, I think it's Genesis Wave. Yeah, there it is. Genesis Wave for like 11 or something. 10. He doesn't hit anything huge, but he does get Vidalcan Orrery and Vernal Bloom. Sword of Vengeance. A couple forests. I mean, he basically hits every single card he waived for. Alright, stop. I gotta shrink this a little bit. These are moving a little slow on my computer for some reason. But Aluren's still out there, so he could cast Omnath. Well, maybe not. I'm not sure. Anyway, Stoneforge Mystics gets activated to put something into play. What is it? Another sword, which goes on to a Chroma. But with Vidalcan Orrery, he's able. Omnath is able to spine of Ishsaw a Chroma because the Greaves was on Linvala, so it goes away. Spine is a fun little card. So instead, with this Angel token out here in Linvala, he ends up equipping them. Everything goes on Linvala, who is a 7/8 with a bunch of protections. And she goes after Omnath. It's nice to see somebody else get some damage here. And that's when Thada Adel steps in and plays Cyclonic Rift, bouncing everything, saving Omnath, which is a little interesting. I would think that he would let Omnath get hit for a little bit, but maybe he just didn't want the Kemba player to be able to untap. We'll see. Lightning Greaves comes out for Thada Adel. And then this is a fun little card. Oh, don't stop watching. Sphinx Ambassador. It costs a lot. Oh, yeah, and then he uses Take Possession to steal my Homeward Path, because I'm assuming he's got a few more theft spells in there. He uses Sphinx Ambassador to attack Kemba. And I assume Kemba doesn't answer correctly. So the Ambassador takes Wormcoil Engine. I end up drawing another land. And I play Aether Snipe, balancing the Wormcoil Engine. I honestly don't know if that was a great play or not. Might be, might not be, who knows, but it goes back to Kemba's hand. And then I play Hydra Omnivore. Colossal Knight's just been sitting there in my hand, but I guess it's good with the Omnivore. We'll see. So Omnath has to dump his hand. He's got Vidalcan Orrery back out there. And Vernal Bloom. He probably should have played Vernal Bloom first. Land of War Elves, Birds of Paradise, Asceticism. And he dumps Aspect of Mongoose and Aluren. Stoneforge Mystic gets activated to put another sword into play, I assume. There it is, sort of light and shadow. Wormcoil Engine comes out. He gets equipped with a couple swords. And then he should get the another sword. 3 swords total. And then he should get the Lightning Greaves. There we go. Now who does he go after? He goes after the Thada Adel player. So Thada Adel drops to 28. And Kemba untaps all her lands and gains a bunch of life. She's up to 49 and gets, I think, a chroma back. Oh no, gets something back in her graveyard, some creature. There it is. It is a chroma, which he puts Lightning Greaves on. Thada Adel plays Inundate, bouncing everything once again. There's a lot of bounce in this game. And the Sphinx goes after Kemba once again. And it looks like he guessed correctly. And so I gotta see that real quick. Stop. What did he guess, if he guessed anything? Oh, Avacyn. It was Avacyn. That's hilarious. So I play my Renette. And then, let's see. I attack the Kemba player. She just takes it. She's at 44, but she drops to 40 after this. Omnath is at 39, Thada Adel's at 26, and I'm at 32. So this has been a longer game. Omnath comes out to play, but he gets hindered, I think. Yep, there it is, hinder. So nobody is now going to have access to their commanders unless somebody draws into it. And then Sword of Vengeance and Birds of Paradise. There's Steel Hellkite, who gets equipped with the sword. And then he decides to pump it before attacking. And I think he has a reason for this. Oh yeah, he does have a reason. He puts Rancor on it, so it's got 17 power, 18 power. And then he plays Overwhelming Stampede. So the bird is 18-19 and his Steel Hellkite's 36-23. He attacks Kemba with and the bird with both of them. And the Thada Adel player comes in and saves him by playing Evacuation. So yeah, just odd. I couldn't tell if these guys were teamed up, but maybe they are. I don't know. He's just goofing around, the Thada Adel player, I think. So Kemba once again casts a chroma. Equips it with a couple swords. She's got protection from all colors. Stoneforge Mystic comes back out and searches up Dark Steel Plate. Which she then puts on a chroma. Along with the Greaves. And he attacks Omnath. Dropping Omnath to 27. Kemba comes out. Oh yeah, she drew Kemba. What is this? Ring of Valga? Ring of Thune. Just gonna move a bunch of the equipment over onto Kemba. There's the Moon Silver Spear once again. He's playing the Urza lands. I just find it so rare that you actually assemble all the Urza lands that it's not really worth it. I mean, I've never actively tried to do it. I just can't imagine it being all that great, honestly. Thada Adel plays Diluvian Primordial. And she's going to get Hollowed Burial, probably. Collective Voyage, once again. Overwhelming Stampede, and Hollowed Burial. Yep. So everybody's going to avoid having those threats come back from the Kemba player for a while. And I decide to pay in a bunch of mana to the Collective Voyage. X is going to be like 10 or 12 or something. 11, 12. I don't think anybody else contributes, though. Yeah, nobody else contributes. I figure this way, you know what, I thin the rest of my basics out of my deck, and hopefully I don't draw any more land. The deck lacks so much card draw that, like, thinning out stuff like this is actually probably a good idea. You know, and it's gonna, I mean, I'm going up against 3 mono-colored decks, so I'm sure they're gonna have plenty of basics in there to try and get into play. Yeah, I pull every single basic from my deck, essentially. And at this point, like, if somebody Armageddons or something, most of us would be screwed. I don't know why the Omnath's player is taking so long here. Let's try something. Why are we going so slow? Oh, there's Magma Force. Magmatic Force. I love Magmatic Force. It's probably the best creature in the deck. It'll come out to play. And I figure, let's put out a Valley Renet. I just want a couple of creatures out so that I can drop Edric next turn and hopefully draw some cards off attacking. With the Force, I end up like kind of spreading his damage around a little bit. Primarily, I end up going after Kemba because she's got the highest life total. There's the Steel Hellkite, which gets equipped with the sword and put Rancor on. And she's just, I mean, the Hellkite's just going to get real big here. Mosswort Bridge has Hall of the Bandit Lord under it. It goes after Kemba too. I don't know why it didn't get pumped for more. It's only at 10 right now. Oh, Vorinclex comes out. Sweet. I'm not a huge fan of Vorinclex, but I guess that's just me. A lot of people do play him. Here we go. We're just pumping the crap out of the Hellkite now. £16 of damage. And then he uses the Hellkite's ability to hit the number 3, I think. Yeah, it gets rid of all the swords. So all of a sudden I've got the most life out there. I've got 30 life. Thada Adel's at 26, Kemba's at 26, and Omnath's at 24. I just gotta warn you guys, this game goes on for a while. Wormcoil Engine comes out to play. This is one of those games where, like, just by appearing to be like the least powerful person out there, nobody really focuses on me. I mean, I think I got attacked like once by a Chroma with a bunch of swords on her. And then Vorinclex puts all the freaking things on the stack every time you tap a land. It's a pain in the butt. So the Wormcoil Engine is going to not attack anybody. I'm trying to get Omnath down to a reasonable level now, mainly because of Vorinclex. It was just slowing things down. Oh my gosh. Reigns of Power. So, since the Thada adult player doesn't have any creatures, doesn't really matter for Omnath. The good thing is that the Thada adult player can still activate the Steel Hellkite. Oh yeah, the Greaves gets blown up by the Spine of Ishsaw. So he gets attacked for 17, and the Hellkite gets pumped a little bit, and Omnath gets taken out. Is that right? No! Omnath's still at 2. But I use Magmatic Force to kill him. Get rid of him. It's just not worth it to have Vorinclex still running around out there. So, now it's time for me to play Edric. Part of the reason it's slowing down is because there's so many permanents in play, but the other part is just because I'm trying to video this at the same time. I think I send everything after the Thada Adel player just because I want to draw. But the Kemba player is going to Mystifying Maze the Omnivore because she doesn't want to take damage. That's fine as long as I get 2 cards. So, oh yeah, and I decided to Colossal Might just because. I don't really know why. It's just been sitting in my hand so long I wanted to get rid of it. And that drops Thada Adel down to 9, and I draw 2 cards. Avatar of Fury and Reigns of Power. Or Ray of Command, I'm sorry. Then I play Aether Snipe and I bounce. Oh yeah, I bounce one of the pieces of equipment. I don't even remember which one, honestly. And then I play Avatar of Fury. So right now, you know, aside from the distinct possibility of another Wrath effect, I'm doing pretty good. I send my 3 damage after Kemba, not realizing that it doesn't take very long to get rid of Thada Adel. Oh, it was just the Moon Silver Spear that I bounced. Guardian Angel. Good against tokens, I guess. Guardian Seraph, my bad. Konda's Banner. No attack from Kemba. At this point I'm still chipping away at Kemba when in reality what I should have been doing was going after Thada Adel. There's Duplicate. Oh no. Duplicate gets rid of... Well, hey, look at that. Gets rid of the worm. And then Chancellor of the Spires is going to get like Day of Judgment or something. Yeah, there it is. Blowing everything up. Sad times. And then Soul Ring. But I drew into Artisan of Kozilek, who's going to be very useful because it's going to bring Magmatic Force back into play. The other good thing about Artisan of Kozilek is that it's just a huge beater at this point. You know, the Annihilator is not going to matter with everybody having all their lands out. So yeah, now I figure out, okay, I should just start hitting Thada Adel. Especially because Thada has card draw in the form of Staff of Nin. And the Kemba player has no cards in hand. Tezzeret the Seeker searches for an artifact, Phyrexian Metamorph, copying Magmatic Force, when that's not going to help him. He can kill himself. I've noticed that. Puts Lightning Greaves on the Force and attacks the Kemba player, I think. Just because, yeah. This helps me out. Knocks Kemba from 21 down to 14. And then uses the Force to kill himself. And that's the game for the Thada player. There's Riku. Finally drew him. So I'm going to attack the Thada player for 17. He still has Mystifying Maze, though. He goes after the Magmatic Force. I think he might have been worried that I was going to be able to get another card back into play by bouncing the Artisan of Kozilek, but he's got to be cast from my hand in order to get that going. And then he concedes because he doesn't have an answer. He does have Etched Champion, but I could Ray of Command it, I guess. Oh no, it's got yeah, I don't know. But 17 turns, there you go. My one and only win with this Mirror Mastery deck out of like the 6 or 7 games I played. Hope you enjoyed it. Sorry it got slow. Thanks.